What does the parable of the sower mean? If we read the New Testament, or specifically Jesus' time on earth, we can see that he told many parables about the kingdom of God and other things generally. One of these parables was the parable of the sower. This parable can be found in Matthew chapter 13 verses 3 to 9. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But other fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. So this is one of Christ's parables where he also gave us the interpretation of the parable, as we can see in Matthew chapter 13 verses 18 to 23. So we can use this passage to break the parable down. First, let's look at what he said about the wayside. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received the seed by the wayside. So from this we can see that understanding is very important when serving God. Because if we don't have understanding, we'll be like those on the wayside, who don't have understanding, and they are at mercy of the devil. This is why anybody who hears the gospel should pray to God for the understanding of it, so he won't fall victim of temptations, and will be able to be steadfast in the faith. King David knew this, which is why he also prayed to God for understanding in Psalm chapter 119 verse 34. Now, give me understanding, and I shall keep thy law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. The next element that Christ talked about in this parable was the seeds that fell on the stony places, which Jesus Christ interpreted in Matthew chapter 13 verses 20 and 21. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. So what Christ said here is pretty straightforward. The people who receive the seed on the stony places are the people who receive the word and believe in it. Except since they don't have that much faith, when tribulation comes, they lose all their faith and lose interest in worshiping God. A true Christian is bound to face persecution from the devil, family members, or others. This persecution that a Christian will receive is not meant as punishment, but is something that is supposed to strengthen his faith and make him believe in God more. King David, for instance, also experienced persecution just because he was righteous. In Psalm chapter 59 verse 3, it says, For lo, they lie in wait for my soul. The mighty are gathered against me, not for my transgression, nor for my sin, O Lord. For a faithful and devout Christian, persecution is also kind of like a blessing, because the more they are persecuted, the stronger they become. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 10 to 12, it says, Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice, and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Then, in Matthew chapter 13, verse 22, Jesus Christ explained the seeds that fell among thorns. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care for this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. The seed that fell among thorns represents those Christians who hear the word, but because of the lust of this world, whether they're lusting after cars, or houses, or other things that their friends might have that they want too, if they see that they might not be getting the same things as other people they know might be getting, these things might ruin their faith. and they become unfruitful Christians. This part of the parable also shows that it is impossible to love the world and love God at the same time. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 24, it says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." Then the last group of seeds that Christ talked about in the parable was the seeds that fell among the good ground, and he explained these in Matthew chapter 13 verse 23. "But he that received the seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. These are the people who receive the word and hear it, and they don't give up on it, and they serve God till the end of their lives. They stick to the faith, and this is how they become fruitful Christians, and these are the ones that will be saved in the end. And this is where I think I'll stop on answering that question, what does the parable of the sower mean? If you liked what I said, then you can consider hitting the subscribe button or clicking the like button on this video. And you can also hit the notification bell so you can know when we post next. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.